All right, y'all, I'm Misty. This is Dinner on a Dime. Welcome back. We're gonna start this video off with a quick catch up on where I have been the last week. Was not planning to take a week off from the channel, but I started to not feel well about a week ago. Got to where I was just having a lot of pressure in my head. I was nauseous all the time and I couldn't seem to get to feeling any better. It didn't really matter what I did. I just could not kick any of the symptoms that I was having. And I was taking like ibuprofen and Tylenol and sinus medicine and all that kind of stuff, and just nothing was getting any better. It was just getting consistently worse to a point where I was spending most of my free time in bed. I wasn't getting much done around the house or much cooking done at all because I just was not able to. Then 2 days ago, so on Wednesday, was at work. I've still been going to work, and about halfway through the day, I had a back tooth go out. And it makes sense that the symptoms I was having was probably related to that tooth going out. I just didn't know I had a tooth going out. So then I ended up going to the dentist Thursday to figure out what was going on with the tooth. Got some bad news at the dentist on Thursday, related to hereditary bone disease in my mouth and some dental issues there. Ended up having major dental surgery yesterday afternoon. So I am now about, 27 hours out of dental surgery. And so did have some major work done on this portion of my mouth. And so if I'm talking a little funny or anything, that is why. It's been a rough week. It's not been a lot of fun. But the good news is this will fix things up for a while. I'm gonna have to look into some longer term solutions for some dental stuff coming up. Perfect, yay, getting older, so fun. But it's okay, it will be okay. And I'll just, take the time I need to make sure that I'm taking care of myself. So anyways, I did cook leading up to the dental thing. Like even the night that my tooth went out, I still came home and cooked. I just didn't record anything. I just did not feel up to it. I didn't feel like being on camera at all. Still kind of don't, but I'm here because I realized I have not put out anything in like a week for you guys. So my apologies for that. I've made like pork loin, just kind of easy stuff that's kind of pre-seasoned that I can throw in the oven and get people fed around the house. Last night I did not cook. My husband just got taco casa for everyone because I just wanted a bean burrito, something soft that I could eat a little pieces off of, because I can only eat on this side of my mouth right now. There's Axton. And tonight we did sloppy joes, and because I can't really open my mouth to eat right now, I just had some of the meat on a plate because it's soft enough I could chew just on this side of my mouth and swallow it. What you up to, Axton?
I am trying to make the bracelet, but isn't really
bracelets.
working.
Okay, well,
you have to have 4 strips, and then you have like one, and 1, 2, and then 1 over them, and go like
and
that.
There's
but
folding stuff to do.
Yeah, but I don't like that. I'm just gonna cut this like that, and just tape it, and then.
Okay, well you go figure it out.
Can I use those scissors?
You can use my scissors as long as you bring them back.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So we're going to get started with tonight's video. It is going to be 10 easy food swaps that will help you cut your grocery costs in 2025. So this is one of the things that I really like to do in my kitchen is if I don't have an ingredient, instead of racing to the store and spending the money necessary to buy that ingredient, I will Google and find easy swaps that I can do to replace that ingredient. And that way I don't have to go to the store. I don't have to spend more money just to have one additional ingredient hanging out in the house. And so I've got for you today 10 easy food swaps and how it is that that food swap will save you money. So I hope you will find this list incredibly helpful. And like I said, if you don't have something, don't be afraid to just do a quick Google search, do a quick search through ChatGPT or Copilot, whatever AI software you like to use. You can find food substitutes, food swaps that will help you to make your meal, and it'll be a lot easier than going to the store and spending additional money. So number one is ground beef. Ground beef is extremely expensive right now. If you've been to the store in my area, it is averaging between $6 and $9 a pound, unless you can get it on meat markdowns, which is pretty much the only way that I buy meat anyways, but it is rather pricey. So what can we swap? We can swap lentils or black beans. Okay, lentils are very inexpensive. Lentils are also something that a lot of people get given from food banks. And so that can be extremely helpful to realize that you can swap lentils into any recipe that calls for ground beef, black beans as well. And so how does that save you money? Well, it's nutritionally saving you because it's plant-based, which is proven to be a healthier option. And then how is it saving you money? It cuts the cost by 60 to 80% over the cost of ground beef. And these items will last longer. So you don't have a certain time frame that you have to get them used up or they're gonna go bad, right? Now, ground beef, I know you can stick that in the freezer. It's gonna last you a while, but the cans on the shelf are gonna last you even longer. Okay, so number two is boneless chicken breast. Again, we are living in a day and age where boneless chicken breast is pretty hot. In my area, we occasionally will get it for like $2.49 a pound, but that's not usually like the best quality chicken breast, okay? If you want the really good quality stuff, you're gonna pay a premium for that. And so what can we buy instead of boneless chicken breast? Switch to bone-in thighs or whole chicken, okay? These are cheaper, they're more flavorful. Plus, if you're doing like a whole chicken, then you can pick all of that meat off of it and you will have lots of meals that you can prep off of that. So you can freeze that leftover meat in bags and then pull it out for different meals. And then you can use the bones from your chicken to make chicken stock that you can freeze or that you can use for another meal. So lots of good swaps that come out of that one. Number three, get rid of the silly cereal. Okay, I say silly cereal. It's anything like Lucky Charms or Cocoa Puffs or Fruity Pebbles, all of the different fun, silly cereals, right? Those are more expensive. And so for a fraction of the price, you can swap and get oatmeal or store brand cereal, okay? So if your kids will eat oatmeal, great, go for oatmeal. It is a much cheaper, much more efficient option. But if they won't, try store brand cereals, okay? The store brand cereals are often just as good as the name brand cereals. And like I said, they're a fraction of the price, but they're equally as filling, okay? So you're not losing any nutritional content between a silly cereal and a store brand silly cereal, right? They're still the same thing. But if you can go for the oatmeal, then you're gonna gain that nutritional benefit as well. So number four, salad mixes. Just go for whole lettuce or whole cabbage, okay? You're gonna have 3 times a cost reduction, okay? So what that head of lettuce cost you is gonna cost you 3 times as much to buy it pre-chopped up and in a salad mix. They don't spoil as quickly, so the head of lettuce or the head of cabbage is gonna last a lot longer in your fridge than the bag salad mix will. So if you're someone who buys a bag salad mix with the best of intentions to use it, but you find that you really don't use it before it goes bad, try buying the full head of lettuce or the full head of cabbage, and you may find that you're able to use it before it goes bad. And then they're more versatile too. So you're not tied to having to use them in a salad mix. There are other things you could do. Like you could wake up and decide, you know, I still have that cabbage hanging out that I didn't make a salad with. Let me make coleslaw with that. Or let me look up recipes. Let me make, what is the Korean dish that everybody's making right now? The egg roll in a bowl type of dish. So it's more versatile. You're going to end up with more options for it. Number 5, pre-shredded cheese. Okay, quit buying the pre-shredded cheese and just switch to block cheese. Okay, so you're going to have a 25 to 30% cost reduction per ounce. But what I find is, of course, you can look and you can usually buy like a block of cheese or the bag of cheese for the same price if it's within the same brand, right? At least in my area, you can. But what I do find is that the pre-shredded cheese does not melt as well in certain recipes. So if you want a good cheese that's gonna melt really well, I would go with the block cheese. I wouldn't go with the pre-shredded cheese. But if you are wanting something that you can buy and toss in the freezer to save for later, then I would stick with the pre-shredded because it is going to work better when you pull it out of the freezer. If you buy the block cheese and then you try to like slice it or anything later, it can be real crumbly. So you just have to watch for that. Okay, number 6, bottled water and juice. Just switch to tap water. It's free, right? I mean, it's virtually free. You're just paying your water bill. It's not going to increase your water bill very much just to go to drinking tap water. So, and there's less waste, right? Because you don't have the bottles from the water, you don't have the bottles from the juice or the containers from the juice. Now, I would suggest having a water filtration system of some sort. We just have a Brita water pitcher that we use. It works great. And then if you still want to flavor your water, you can still do that. You can put fruit in your water. You can buy the little flavor packs for your water. That's fine. But you don't have to have a bottle to put that in, right? Like you can put a flavor pack in a cup of water and stir it up and it's going to be just fine. Or use that reusable water bottle and shake it up in there. And it's going to be just as good as shaking it in a plastic bottle. Now, you see my stack of water bottles over there, okay? Those were all bought during the Kroger like $1.99 sale for a case of water. That's when I'm gonna buy bottled water. I do personally prefer bottled water. But if I can't get it on a cheap enough price, you can best believe I'm gonna use my Brita water filter. And that's how we're gonna have water and it'll be just fine. So number 7 is flavored yogurt. Go with plain yogurt with fruit or honey, okay? It's going to be sweet and it's going to be healthier and it's going to save you money and it's going to save you sugar content. Okay.
Nice.
So if you can skip the flavored yogurt and you can go with just a plain yogurt, and then if you need to add some fresh fruit to it, add a little drizzle of honey to it, that's going to be a much healthier option and a cost efficient option. Okay. Number 8, frozen meals. Okay. Get rid of the frozen meals, switch to batch cooked leftovers. Okay, it saves you money versus prepackaged frozen meals, and they are always going to taste better. Anything you make at home is going to taste better than the meals you get prepped out of the freezer. In fact, today I saw at Target that they had 2 of the Rana brand meat lasagnas on clearance for like $5 a piece. It's a good price for those.
Yeah.
But I was like, it is not going to be as good as my homemade lasagna. And then that's what everyone's going to compare it to. And they're not going to like it because it's not like my homemade lasagna. So what I'll do is when I'm going to make a lasagna, I will make enough that I can batch cook and I can make like 3 lasagnas, right? So then we have 1 lasagna for now, 2 to go in the freezer, and then we just pull 1 out on a busy night and we heat it up and we have homemade lasagna. You can do that. Walk down your frozen food aisle and get ideas. Anything that they are meal prepping and freezing, you can meal prep and freeze too. And you're going to like it better. You're going to be more willing to use it and to eat it, and it's going to save you money. So number 9, bread and buns. Okay. Now I'm not telling you to start making your own bread and your own buns. I don't do that myself, and I'm not going to tell you to do that. But the option is to switch from white to wheat, okay? Wheat is always going to be cheaper than white, but it's also going to be healthier and it's going to be more filling, okay? So if you want foods that are healthier for your body, that are going to save you a little bit in the wallet, and that are going to keep bellies full longer.
Yeah.
Then wheat is the better option over white. Okay, and then the last swap that I have for you is single-use spice mixes versus bulk spice mixes, or a do-it-yourself blend, okay? So get rid of little small bottles of spices. I know they're great and they're convenient and they're like $1 at the store, okay? The only time I pick up the little small bottles like that is at CVS when I get extra care bucks, because they're $1 a bottle. And so if I get a $1 coupon, it makes it like 9 cents. Okay. That's when I will buy those and bring them home. Otherwise, I'm going to find the best price on bulk buying my spices, whether it's Amazon, Sam's Club, Costco, the local grocery store. Wherever I can find them in bulk, I will buy them that way, because then I have not only enough on hand to use for individual recipes, but I have enough to create my own spice mixes too, like my own Italian seasoning or my own taco seasoning, whatever the case may be, brown gravy mix, fajita seasoning. I have a whole bunch of them that I've pre-made that I utilize those bulk spices into those mixes. So by making your own, you have greater control over what's in it. You know where the product came from, you know the quality of the product you're dealing with, and it will save you money over time. So buying the little dollar bottles one at a time, the goal is not to spend more on the bulk product. The goal is to look at the price of the individual bottles and say, okay, I can buy 9 of those for the cost of this bulk one that would give me 12 of these small ones, right? So you do have to pay attention to the prices, but the nice thing about having several seasonings on hand is when you're out of one, like the recipe calls for oregano, and you're like, great, I don't have oregano, but I have thyme, and I have basil, and I have Italian seasoning, and I have this, and I have this. That's where you go to Google and you say, okay, I'm out of oregano. Can I substitute basil? Or if I'm out of oregano, what other spices can I replace it with? And it'll give you a list. And then you can go and you can say, oh, cool, there we go. I'm going to use thyme in its place. Okay. That's what I'm suggesting that you do for that one. That is what I do. I have little containers that I keep spices in my kitchen. The bulk container is in my pantry. And then if I do run out, it goes on a list to buy, but it's not getting bought today. It's going to get bought when I find a good price on it. So until that item gets restocked, we're going to go to Dr. Google. We're going to go to Dr. ChatGPT, and we're going to see, hey, will this work in its place? Okay. Another one I could give you here's like a number 11 for you. Going back to chicken. Another thing I like to do is, like, if I make a turkey or a turkey breast, I will save what doesn't get eaten, just like I do rotisserie chicken, okay? Because then I can make things with turkey tetrazzini, turkey and dressing, different things throughout the year. I will do the same thing with ham. If I make a ham and there's a few slices that doesn't get eaten, instead of throwing it away, I will cube it myself and I will freeze it, and then I can pull it out for pizzas or to put with scrambled eggs, like in a, my brain's going blank here, breakfast casserole, or I want to say frittata, and that's not the word I'm looking for. Omelet, that's the word I'm looking for, an omelet. And so just learn to keep those things and prep them so that you can pull them out and use them in other meals. And I would say probably anything you could put chicken in, you could put turkey in. You could try it at least once. I don't know how turkey quesadillas would do. Maybe I'll have to try that one sometime. So anyways, that's just 10 easy food swaps that can help cut your budget right away in 2025. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. And I do hope that I'm feeling back to feeling like cooking in this kitchen enough to record for you guys tomorrow. That is my hope. On Sunday, I am planning to make my Cajun turkey that I make. So I would really like to be able to film that and show you that video for sure. So we're getting there slowly. Like I said, right now I'm about 27 hours out of dental surgery on both the upper and lower side of my mouth over here. So we're not anywhere into better shape territory yet, but we will get there. So I appreciate you guys sticking with me, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, ring the little notification bell, and that way you get notified when new content comes up. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.